Part of a grant that was meant to help police in Buffalo, New York respond to mental health calls was actually used to purchase 10 electric lassos, also known as BolaWraps. So this is a federally funded grant that was offered to the Buffalo Police Department because police departments could certainly use additional training or training at all in responding to people who have mental health issues, training on how to be humane when someone is having a mental health breakdown. But instead of using the entirety of that money on, resources that can help them in these types of responses, they decided to use a pretty significant portion on buying weapons, additional weapons, because the military weaponry that gets passed down to local police departments isn't enough. They need electric lassos. So what is that? Well, the program funded by the grant sets out to improve public safety responses and outcomes for individuals with mental illnesses and or substance abuse issues who come into contact with the justice system, according to the description of this grant. The program also requires collaboration between criminal justice and mental health agencies. Now let's get to how much the money was and what they used it on. Okay, so the video you're watching is an example of this electric lasso, BolaWraps. The original description of the grant, which was given to the city of Buffalo to the tune of $746,317 to date, outlines a plan to embed mental health clinicians in the police department. So they should have used the money for that, all of the money for that. But instead they bought these 10 BolaWraps. We have an email showing documentation proving that they spent the money on this. And so when an officer deploys a BolaWrap, the weapon uses a gunpowder charge to launch a Kevlar cord, which can wrap around a non-compliant individual. Several police departments around the country currently use it. So Cenk, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair. Maybe a BolaWrap, maybe spending money, federal money on additional weaponry in the police department is the way to go? I mean, I was under the assumption that the money was supposed to be used for mental health concerns, but no, it doesn't look like all of it is gonna be used for that.
Well, Anna, I was equally concerned that the money was being misdirected in the beginning. And then halfway through the story, I realized, oh no, it's not misdirected. They actually specifically asked for the BolaWraps to deal with mental health patients. So, and suspects or whatever they're calling them, right? So they're saying, yeah, we're gonna treat mental health people by wrapping them up like cattle, hurting them and lassoing them, and that's our way of dealing with them. That's why we asked for the money. Why, what did you guys think we were gonna do? You thought we were gonna treat them humanely and bring in counselors and figure out how to deal with them without using violence? No, violence is the answer, I forgot the question. So let's treat them like they're animals and let's lasso them like they're in a rodeo, okay? And then we'll say, yeah, you see that? We used the money for mental health. That's in the letter. They say this is for mental health reasons, to treat the mentally ill in the streets. This is how you treat them. Because they're cops. So the culture is always violence, always. And they love the gadgets. They're gonna feel like Batman. So they're gonna, this is just the beginning. You're gonna see this lasso everywhere now. Every cop department is gonna want one. You think they're not gonna want one? You crazy. That's their favorite thing in the world, is to play with toys. So they couldn't wait to get the tanks, the SWAT teams look like stormtroopers, occupy our cities, right?
The robotic dogs that help them evict people in New York City.
Right, yeah. Or just the regular dogs that sometimes rip apart innocent people. Oops, I let my canine unit get away. Oops, you were innocent, okay? And let alone, that's actually a dog, right? But let alone the gadgets and all the things that come with it.
But you know what, Cenk? I think we should be more concerned about the human rights abuses in Cuba. And we should starve Cubans in order to essentially make them so desperate that they rise up and they topple their own government, because we're the good guys and we actually treat people humanely in our borders, right? By treating and responding to mental health, people having mental health issues as animals. I mean, it's just,
imagine.
Take a good hard look at where we're at right now in this country, in the way that we treat people, right? Like it's unbelievable that people have the audacity to argue that we should do airstrikes. Okay, the mayor of Miami called for airstrikes in Cuba. over how the government treats its people. I don't know, should other countries consider airstrikes in the United States over how our government and how our local police departments treat our people? My guess is that the mayor of Miami would say no. So maybe keep that in mind as you make these ridiculous suggestions that could get innocent people killed in other countries. We need to take a good hard look at what's going on in our own borders, and it's not pretty.
The Cuban example is a really good one because the right wing, as you point out, says, let's just, they're suffering, so let's bomb them. And they think that makes sense. They genuinely think that makes sense. So, and then by the way, corporate Democrats like Joe Biden go, no, I want to keep Trump's policy towards Cuba. Did you vote for change? I'm not gonna give you goddamn change. No, we're gonna keep the sanctions and we're gonna crush the Cuban people, not the Cuban leaders, right? Because they have human rights abuses. Imagine if they had a weapon like this in Cuba, our press would be all over it. They'd be like, look at the communist dictators of Cuba, lassoing their own people and treating them like cattle and animals. Let's bomb.
I heard in Cuba, the government has federal agents take protesters and toss them into unmarked vans and take them to undisclosed locations.
No, that was here in America, Anna.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that was during the Trump era.
That's right, that's right.
But Biden reversed all of Trump's, no. Actually, he didn't reverse most of his policies. Oh, funny how that worked out.
A little uncomfortable, sorry, awkward.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.